So today I'm here with my mom, Laura Calvitti, and I find her successful because not only is she a mom and she takes care of everything in the house and everything at school, she does so much for other people, and she continually remembers birthdays, anniversaries, all these special things. And I think that counts as a successful woman because that is such an underrated job in today's world. So first asking my mom, well, she's the last of five children. So, Mom, do you think that has any impact on how you worked through school and wanted to be as you got older?
I think it definitely played a role in how I turned out for sure, in all different ways.
Like how?
Um, like one way I saw my oldest sister and I saw the path she was going, and that didn't interest me. And my second older sister um, was content with staying in her parents' house, and I knew that didn't interest me. My older brother, the middle child, um, he moved out of the house and got an apartment, and that was the way I wanted to go. I didn't want to get married and have kids right away, like my sister did, my firstborn sister, and I definitely knew I didn't want to stay in my parents' house. So that definitely motivated me to get moving.
So would you say that my uncle played an important role in your life, like growing up being almost as your role model, being like the only boy?
Yeah, yes, I definitely would say that.
Um, okay, so you said you didn't want to go out and get married right away and have kids right away, but you and my dad started dating when you were a freshman in high school,
Yes.
and you're still together now. So we
Yes.
figured it out the other day. It was like 36 years. That was my
Mm-hmm.
dog. 36 years that you guys have been together.
Yes.
So do you think that I would say dad's successful now, extremely successful, but would you say he had drive from when he was younger and that also might have played a role in it? Or do you think you guys equally pushed each other to be successful?
Um. Oh gosh. Well, Dad on his own was motivated to get moving to go to school and then to start making money, um, and to get out of his parents' house. He knew that he wanted to get out of his parents' house right away. Um, Wait, what was the question?
Like, did you, in the past, like when you guys were first started dating,
Yes.
did you both mutually influence each other to get moving and to be successful and get out of the house?
Yeah, I think, yes, I think we mutually pushed each other that way. Um, but Ben was, your dad's older than me, so he, had a start, um, which then helped me, move out of my parents' house, and to get started because he already had established himself. So it was easy for me to do that kind of under him.
So you being the last of five, like we've mentioned a few times, you now have a couple nieces and nephews. I shouldn't say a couple. You have a lot of nieces and nephews. You have a great niece and a great nephew, another great niece. You have a lot of people in your family. So even being the last of five, do you still feel like you have almost like a leadership role in your family, or do you think all five of you play different roles in different ways, like different leadership roles, and um, are not important in different ways, but the family dynamic? Like, do you think the family
Well,
dynamic has made you?
well, definitely, I think there is a role that each of us play. Um, like my oldest sister, I feel, well, the two older sisters, they're only a year apart. I definitely feel like they're the matriarchs. They're the ones that set the pace for, like family events. And, if there's something going on with our parents, I feel like they are the ones that are in charge, and then we all kind of just fall under that. But we're all then on the same level, and we all like each other, so we're all friends. Um, and then, as far as extended family, I'm very close with a niece who's, I think, 35, 36, something. And sometimes I feel like our roles change. Like I go to her for advice, which is kind of odd knowing, we've got 20 years between us. Um, but there's that level of friendship that's beyond just family. I would be friends with these people for the most part than just being related.
So my cousin, she's talking about my one cousin that she's friends with, and growing up, this cousin actually lived with me for a while when she was going to school at James Madison. And me and her have developed a great relationship, and me and my mom have great relationships with her babies and everything, and just that side of the family. But talking about my cousin, she is extremely successful in what she does. She is a role model to all of us. Not speaking for her, but speaking about her, do you think she is a great role model for the family and for other young women to be successful in the workplace?
Absolutely. And that's who I always, and your dad, we always pushed you in the direction of how she went. Like that was how, well, look, Shannon, we want you to be like Shannon. We want, because if you end up being like Shannon, that's wonderful. You'll be a strong, confident, successful woman. And that's what we wanted.
Right. So kind of like switching gears. So you're a kindergarten teacher or a kindergarten assistant. You work with 20 plus 5-year-olds who are all over the board. Some have some special needs, mental ailments that they need extra help. But in teaching, you see a lot of women, not as many men teaching, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that lack of men in the workplace, this is like kind of going off topic, but do you feel like lack of men in the workplace not hurts kids, but if there was more men in the workplace, it would not transform the lives of younger kids, but help them kind of get through and have better advice?
Yes, I believe, I definitely feel, especially in elementary school, there seems to be more male teachers in the middle school, high school areas, but elementary school, I think it's huge for male teachers to be present. And not just in the role of a PE teacher, or, I can't even think of an extra, but they seem to tend to be in PE for some reason. But I think it's awesome, and to have a child to be in a classroom that is male run, it just lends so many opportunities of learning to children. There's a lot to gain to have a male teacher than a female teacher sometimes.
But also females too. So growing up, you have 5+ different teachers in elementary school with your curriculars and all of that. So just instead of it being female, having some male teachers in there also kind of brought in. Because males and females, would you say they teach differently?
They teach differently, and they're emotionally different, which is good.
So would boys feel, we've talked about one child we can't name, but that didn't write anyone down that he felt supported by at the school or was a safe person for him. Would you feel that if there was more male teachers in the younger grades that he might have put that name down?
Yes, I definitely feel that that there'd be, if there's more male teachers, more children would feel that a male teacher could be a safe person.
So you feel like having a dynamic, both male and female teachers is beneficial for young kids growing up and understanding and learning.
Yes. But male teachers definitely are worth a lot in the elementary years.
So kind of, I guess, backtracking again, the reason why I find you successful is that you remember all these things that I can barely do in a day. and you seem to do it a lot better and smoother than I can. So how, like, oh, I know you use like your Apple calendar and all of that, but how do you manage to get a full day of work in? We have 2, sometimes 3 dogs when my dog is at home who need attention and need all of this. Dinner, talking on the phone to family, all of this other just things in life, all these extras. How do you maintain it all? Like, how do you even begin?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how I handle what I handle. I think it just comes from doing it. If I stop to think about, like on my daily, all right, I need to make lunch. I need to do this. I need to throw laundry in. I need to get to the dry cleaner. Yeah, I need to get to the grocery store. You know, my husband needs this. The dogs need that. I do have lists, but I don't know how I do it, how I manage it. I think it just comes with age and experience.
Was your mom good at managing things when you were younger? Was she were you kind of almost on your own, being 5 children?
Well, in some ways. I mean, I grew up with my grandmother living with me since I was 4 years old until the day she died, which I was later married and out of the house. So my mom had help. You know, my grandmother didn't do the grocery shopping, but my mom had help. So while my mom was at work, my grandmother started dinner. She did the laundry. She did the ironing. She did the cleaning, the basic cleaning. And as far as stuff for the store, my grandmother would let my mom know, like, things that were needed. And then my grandmother giving my parents the ability to be out of the house and to work was huge, because with 5 kids, somebody needed to be home. So my grandmother was the child care provider too.
So do you think you learned some of these skills from your grandmother? Not more than your mother, but do you think your grandmother also played a huge part?
My grandmother, yes. And I knew how I cared for her and how I liked her. But I didn't realize how much she gave me until she died. And I realized it was like losing a mom. Because, you know, growing up with her from 4 years old, you know.
Yeah, that's like your earliest memories.
Yeah. And my mom being at work. And then because my grandmother was home, my parents then traveled a lot without the kids. My grandmother was sometimes my person I went to.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So, so having my grandmother in the house definitely helped my mother in her day-to-day, which then also helped me,
right.
You know? Yeah.
And also being surrounded by women, so you only have 1 brother, and the rest are sisters. So would you say it's being surrounded by sisters, your grandmother, your mother, and you have a lot of female cousins as well? Would you say, like, powerful women, would you say, where you grew up in New Jersey and the type of family you grew up in, were women not catering to men, but was it kind of that deal, or was it more celebrated of being successful, or was grandpa looking for everyone to get married? Like, what kind of dynamic was that with a bunch of women?
It was different. It wasn't like the way it is today, where everything's discussed and figured out and you have a family plan, and it wasn't like that at all. Being from northern Jersey and being an Italian in northern New Jersey was just its own element. Like, it was just its own animal. Mm-hmm. And the fathers really didn't play a part in things other than going to work. And then when they came home, the house was under their control. And like, dads didn't, well, my dad at least, didn't like do any extra stuff for the kids. You know, like if...
So it was the women. It was the women kind of doing not only the day-to-day operations, but anything to do with the children. It was the women's job almost. And you would say, is that a cultural thing, or do you think that was just a thing back when you were growing up, like
Yeah, I
a
don't know. I don't
society
know.
thing?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if you could say cultural. I'm trying to think of how. Yeah, I don't know if it was cultural.
Because if you think about it nowadays, for a male to come home and the woman has to have the dinner prepared, the kids
Yeah.
washed, that's not going to fly because powerful women are celebrated now. But I feel as though, obviously I'm not there, but when you were growing up, if there's a powerful woman, a powerful woman or a powerful woman figure, it wouldn't be frowned upon. It just wouldn't be as accepted as it is today and as celebrated as it is today. Would you agree with that? Or
Yeah, I would agree with that.
do you think it's like a good thing that powerful women are being celebrated now and encouraged, like for young girls?
Yes,
Especially?
absolutely, and it's just not their role to be the homemaker, the caretaker. Yes, I think it's great that now women are being recognized for more than just that. That they could stand on their own 2 feet.
For being like CEOs, for being like just a force to be reckoned with. Because as I tell you, we've talked about in some of my classes about being powerful, being successful. Success is not a truly defined word when you're talking about a woman being a person being successful. There's different versions of success. But do you think now or back then, depending on how you take it, in order to be successful, you have to be educated? Do you think there's instances where you don't have to be educated to be successful, or do you think
Back then or now?
both? Like, do you think you have to be educated to be successful in general?
In my heart and how I feel, yes, I think you need to be educated to be successful. But back when I was growing up, I didn't see it like that. I was more about, being a wife and a mother and like being successful just within my corner. But now I see it differently.
Okay. And then I guess like one last question I have is that, do you think that it's hard to like articulate my words because I'm so used to talking to you about these things, but do you think that young girls now, like, and you see them as young as not as young as they come, but
4 and 5.
4 and 5, you see them very, very young. Do you think that for them, they know the importance, like young girls know the importance that they are valued and that they're important in the classroom and that boys don't try to overpower them? Because I feel, we've done studies of it in class and I've read research about it that girls don't always raise their hand. They're not the first ones to speak out because they're told not to, but boys, it's fine. And they're always the first ones called on. Do you think that now girls are starting to learn that it's okay to be loud in the class, not loud in the classroom, but to have their voice heard? Like, do you see it young, like in the young girls now?
There's some cultures that we see that the girls come in and they feel they act inferior, that they'll be quiet. If they see a classmate that looks like them and is a boy and culturally they're the same, they usually tend to go to that boy and follow what that boy does. But generally, we don't let little girls or boys even see that they're different from each other, that we encourage them all the same and to show them that, we're all the same. So speak up, stand up and look at me, look at him when you're talking. So we don't even let them see a difference with each other. We just teach them that they're all the same.
So you think that's a big key in being successful, is not when you get older, you have to acknowledge the differences, as acknowledge them, but you don't need to play into the differences.
Yes, totally.
So you think that in order to be successful, that's what you need to do.
Yes.
Because I believe that's what you do too. I don't think you back down to any challenge, and I definitely think you don't let people push you around and make you fit in a box.
Yes.
And I feel like that's what society in
Yeah.
general makes women do in order to feel not successful.
But I feel like that mold's breaking.
Yeah, thank God. Thank goodness it's breaking. And I think once it does, the world's going to be a lot better, and successful people are definitely going to be celebrated.
Yeah.
And I celebrate you for being successful.
And I celebrate you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so stinking proud of you.
Thank you. Alrighty.
Toodles.